Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you need something a little more than just iron to make a robo found work in a 1v1 game. And that's one potential problem I see PB having. But
Agreed. All right, game number 2 in our best of 5 finals between PB Head and Qubit. And what is this map? There are actually 6 aluminum tiles, 8 carbon tiles. Oh,
Yeah.
it's too big. I think. I mean, is it
No.
medium or is it small? It's small.
I saw small. There's
Okay,
plenty,
yeah.
though. No, this could definitely be a robo map for sure. Lots of good places for robotic. But there's only one high aluminum, so I might see an early found here to grab that high aluminum. There are nukes, though.
Yeah, this one, I don't even know how to call this one. There is, I mean, there's like some vague science possibility.
Yeah, science might not be bad.
Scavenger might be all right too. It's just,
I'm
This
afraid
is-
anywhere not near that high aluminum. So basically, what's good by that aluminum?
I know,
Jeez.
and that's kind of what I'm looking at too. And it's like, what do you do with this?
Oh, this is so hard.
It feels so ridiculous. I mean,
I think they're scared to found.
well, yeah, both of them are probably. Oh, well, Qubit is actually going to pull the trigger first, and PB Head did go scientist in kind of that spot I was eyeballing.
Trying for that aluminum. PB Head should think fast, figure out how to grab. Okay, grab
No,
this.
PB Head's just taken his steel.
He's letting him have the aluminum. He could have grabbed it from him.
Yeah, I'm worried about PB Head right now. Very,
That's
very,
ridiculous.
like already at this stage of the game.
I mean, that place cried out scientific, but it's not. It's just not big enough. And why didn't he grab that aluminum? He could have had it.
I don't know. He could have had the aluminum. He could, and I'm also very concerned about him because he didn't buy up the aluminum that he needs to upgrade. So now he's basically got to wait for Qubit to upgrade, and then he can take HQ level 2. Like once Qubit sells out of this aluminum, if he does. Now the other option is for PB Head to just sit and wait, get up to $3,000 worth of steel, sell that down, and then grab an aluminum tile of his own and try and force a sell out of Qubit through something like that. But
I feel like he's got to nuke that high aluminum. Nuke it before Qubit turns around and nukes your aluminum.
that is a possibility for him as well. He's not done anything yet, though. He's just kind of sitting in steel waiting. Waiting and waiting and waiting. And I think that's not going to work against Qubit. I think Qubit might be... Oh, but another interesting thing that's happened is Qubit didn't put down any steel production at the start of the game.
Oh, wow.
So, like, he could have gone 1 iron, 1 steel, 1 aluminum, and I think he'd be in a better spot, but instead he's gone for 2 iron tiles immediately.
No wonder PB Head's not selling his steel.
So
That's
yeah,
good.
PB Head doesn't want to sell steel to let Qubit upgrade. And this claim just became the most important claim we might have ever seen in a match.
40,000.
I would not be surprised for 40 to 48,000 for this. It looks like it might go to PB Head for 36. That is going to let him secure aluminum in this game.
There it goes.
It's immediately
All right.
what he's going for.
But he's not going to be able to afford to nuke it.
I don't think so, not quickly at least. And things just got interesting here.
I mean, there are a lot of ways to get that high aluminum. There's pirates and mutinies available, so there are ways to get that back. All right, Qubit upgraded. You saw the steel come down right away. And he's split steel. I think that's a good move in this case. Although there is no power surges.
Yeah, no power surges, just EMPs. But, you know, still better, I think, that an EMP can still do a lot of damage to you.
Yeah.
Alright, this is another iron mine, so it's certainly going to be aluminum flying on out.
Qubit's going for a second aluminum. Of course, he gets the one more claim. He has an extra claim on Qubit, so yeah, you know, at the end of the day, he's actually going to be making more aluminum than Qubit is. So
Yeah, pretty even considering. I guess he does still have 1 extra claim, but Qubit is expansive, so as we move through those
that's true.
upgrades, things are going to even out a little bit in Qubit's favor. And well, I guess we can take a look at Black Market quickly. This is one reason I was nervous for PB, was the fact that pirates are available, but at least there are no magnetic storms.
Yeah, pirates available, and he doesn't need any place to build anything. So where does he put his glass furnaces?
Exactly. Like, if he does glass furnaces, where do those go? I mean, they can kind of go up near his steel. He is scientific. He can get away, potentially, with just cramping this space full of buildings.
He has basically 3 triangles available, which I guess that's okay.
Well, At this stage of the game, PB Head has a lot more cash on hand. Cubit has a bit more stuff committed to resources already. Both of them have the upgrade available. PB Head is going to rush into it. Cubit, okay, he is just going to hit it instead as well. Basically neck and neck here on the upgrades so far. All right, an extra steel mill down for PB. I understand that. Steel's still doing all right.
Yeah, there was plenty of iron there. I mean, it was a good scientific spot. It's just the space, you know?
Yeah, it's just the space itself is very strange. You're on this very weird plateau, effectively, that...
You could put 2 reactors down south of him. He's got 2 claims left anyway.
Yeah, and he might do that, but he's got to be worried about pirates. Oh yeah, he's so worried about pirates.
Yep.
It's like, nope, nope, not even going to. And you can see he's collecting silicon and he's collecting water.
Boy, putting it there makes a huge difference in revenue. Now those reactors are making only $10 for him, whereas if he dropped them on the water, they'd be making about 50 or 60.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts, but it does prevent pirates from becoming a factor.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest deal right now. Later on, he can still take those water tiles down below him, or even some further away with triangles available, or the diamond.
I mean, he knows he's basically going to claim all the tiles on that plateau, so...
Yeah, so I think... Oh, wow. That hurts, though. PB had spotted it first, so he will get the benefit out of this, but... And long-term, it'll still play in his favor, I think.
Should you just switch him to... Should you just switch to, condensers? Right now? I mean...
He could, but it might be aggressive. It's a very heavy use of steel to put down a reactor, and does he want to give that up is the question.
Well, Cubit's the only one making water, so...
Well, PB's making water. He's got a water pump. Yeah.
Right. Nice.
He had committed to a water pump earlier, and he still has those farms down, which obviously those are getting a nice benefit, and that water shortage may give PB a nice leg up in this game.
Yeah. That's a good move by PB to grab that high water. A lot of scientific players just skip water altogether.
Yeah, but I like that he did that. And I like that he committed to the silicon as well. That gives him fairly easy access to the couple of glass furnaces he's got down. And he did move out of the reactors, and he has instead gone into wind power, which I think is a good call. Cubit's already on a geotherm, but it's not enough to cover him just yet. He does have to commit to the second geotherm still.
Yep.
And so PB had not letting power get too far away from him. He is still a little short on it, but he does have a solar panel building, so he'll probably end up all right. I like this. The solar panel went out to his aluminum tiles, and it's hanging out over there is where it's currently hiding.
So he could go a trio of solar later if he needs to.
Yep.
Which aluminum's still good, but he may need to.
Cubit hasn't hit 4 yet. I heard an EMP. Cubit was targeted by it. I see. Blocked the glass furnaces.
Nice. I like that.
The moment those landed, too. I mean, they started and instantly shut down. It's good to see. All right. And I will admit, I'm kind of cheering for PB just a little bit, just because I want to see one game taken off Cubit this tournament. I want to see what it takes to do that. And if there's a player who can do it, it's probably PB Head. All right, another claim auction.
With Cubit being expansive, I would think PB Head would push himself pretty high.
Yeah, plus it's just PB Head. He doesn't fear debt even when he should, but this time, okay. Oh. That's pricey, and that's more pricey. Cubit knows PB may just keep pushing on this, and so...
Yeah, 2,000. Yep.
Plus, Cubit likes the 32,000 auctions. That's just how he is.
He's got a lot of claims already. Look at that. He's got two more. Another glass furnace.
Well,
even though he had those frozen, he's gonna have either six glass furnaces, or he's gonna delete all those.
Yeah, he could just cancel his old ones if he wants to, for sure. Definitely a viable option.
In fact, I think he definitely should.
Oh, well, he's still letting them build. I'm wondering if those are going to finish up or not. And he's committing to a third geotherm at this point. Interesting. He really wants to be pulling in that power. PB Head's on so much power himself, though. I don't know. I mean, both players are going to be pulling in quite a bit of it once Day is here.
The price is dropping, obviously.
Well, he let those glass furnaces finish up. I don't like that out of Cubit.
Yeah, that's a lot of glass.
And a nuke has landed.
Or the network virus. Hit them with the network virus.
That's probably what's going to happen long term. I mean, PB, he's already purchased up 400 silicon. All right, good. They got scrapped. I mean, PB couldn't network virus anytime soon because he had committed to the nuke, but he did at least force a transition out of Qubit, and that cost him a fair amount of steel that he didn't get to use, in addition to the frozen time for the EMP.
Well, he had plenty of time to delete them. Starting to see some mistakes from Qubit. Not the normal thing. I love that nuke of the high silicon.
That was interesting. And I do like that PB Head is finally committed to using some water tiles and putting buildings directly on them away from his base. Pirates are still available, but you're at the phase of the game where the black market cooldown becomes so important because there might be things more important to fight over than just a handful of reactors away from a base. You know, EMPs are big, dynamite is big, goon squads are big, and you have to have that cooldown available to buy them, and if you're spending time pirating, well, it's just not there.
Yep. Look at those 4 reactors. That's a gutsy play with pirates. It's still fairly cheap. Very cheap. I mean, 3,000.
Expansive colony expanded.
We'll see what happens with those long term. BB Head still with a definite lead, but Qubit is expansive, and so his off-worlds that are going to be coming into play very, very soon are going to be very, very cheap. So we're going to need to check the price and see how valuable those are. We've got fuel at 492. Everything else was looking a little bit weak. Water not particularly good. Chems and electronics are both in the 360 range, but off-worlds just aren't that great this game, realistically.
I wonder why that. I wonder if PB's noticed that, which is why it seems like he's kind of overcommitted to reactors. He's just about to drop 2 new reactors down, not on water.
That is a lot of reactors, yeah. I'm a little bit nervous about that, actually. That is so many reactors. It must be in response to seeing the fuel price and knowing that he'll want to launch fuel, yes, but that means he does have to push into that off-world first if he really wants to take advantage, rather than just handing one over to Qubit.
It's kind of nice to see a game without a scavenger, because now the black market, each choice is so hard, right?
Yes.
You only get one shot at it. You're not going to throw away a black market purchase.
For sure. Those reactors are making a lot of money. And PB Head, it looks like, might actually be sending resources early based on how fast some of this fuel is showing up. To try and get them quickly and make that push to the off-world.
Qubit has pirates available right now for 3,000. I'm surprised he hasn't dropped them down yet.
Yep. And they'll probably be here in just a moment. But once again, like, this happening helps PB potentially feel so much more comfortable about putting down his off-world, which he does have available if he wants to right now.
Wow, Qubit is building a 4th geotherm?
Yeah, well, he got that one in an auction.
Oh, okay.
But that is a lot of steel gone still. Here comes the off-world out of PB. He is the first one to push to it, despite his opponent being expansive. Now, Qubit has almost no debt, 54,000. So his stock price is very high. So I think we may see a situation where PB Head is not, I don't think, going to be able to push to a quick majority buyout, even with a fairly substantial off-world lead. Because the off-world itself is fairly weak. And of course, Qubit's stock price is very high. And those two factors combined may give Qubit a little more time to work things out this game. And he does have his own off-world down at this point, so a small lead over to PB, but not massive.
Yeah, what I'd love to see PB do is get a hacker ray down, start shorting water, which gives him a real advantage as scientific, and start producing more water, because Qubit is negative in water. And PB Head, it's kind of his own choice what he wants to be.
Alright, and PB Head is getting punished for his off-world placement. He chose to scrap one of his steel mills for it instead of his wind turbine. And so nukes are available to blast through the goon squads of PB, not available to blast through the goon squads of Qubit. Yeah, and that may be a pretty significant factor this game.
Yeah, I think that's a big mistake. I mean, those wind turbines are not great. Yeah.
Those definitely, I think, needed to move into something else, and an off-world would have made a lot of sense for the one that was already goon squatted.
Yeah. That's weird, because it just seems like such a natural choice.
Another important thing to note this game, since we're getting to these late stages, is Qubit never committed to any carbon tiles yet, from what I can tell. It doesn't look like he's taken a single one, despite the claim purchases that have been made this game by both players. I believe both players have about 2 bought up by now. Oh, that dynamite hit. That's huge. That's a real problem for PB Head. We'll get to that in a second. But PB Head has secured carbon himself.
Yep.
And so that could make a difference as we push to the late game. People start looking for maybe shortages and surpluses, but that's assuming PB Head doesn't get destroyed by the fact that his off-world market got blown up. It's going to take a full minute to repair.
Yeah.
That is not looking good for him right now.
Not gooning that off-world market. I guess it was a kind of a gutsy play on Cubit's part to just charge ahead with that, but worked out for him.
Yeah, he was pretty sure that it was going to work, and he was probably watching those prices pretty carefully, making sure they didn't move. And well, PB had never committed the cooldown, never committed the resources to securing it, and got punished.
Your stock is being bought.
Well, Cubit's getting close. He's at 70%.
Yep, 73% for Cubit. PB Head has to get those 2 stocks bought up very, very quickly, and I don't see where he has the cash.
I thought he had the advantage in this game.
I think he did until he just let that off-world go. I mean, that is...
He's got 15 seconds.
So much time and money taken away from him.
He'll get the launch off first, so...
Yeah, Cubit just needs to push to about $10,000 more, though. And with this food working...
He'll get it. He'll buy that last share.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yep, because he got the launch off.
Okay, and the game goes on.
He's not in a great spot right now.
Oh no, not at all. He has moved into chems, like as stated before. He has that carbon coming in. Cubit is actually losing money in his steel right now. Needs to watch out for that. Maybe getting a little bit sloppy trying to push for the end of that game.
It'd be great to see a network virus on that. Oh, yep, there they go.
Yep, steel disappeared. Unfortunate for PB. Maybe a bit of a missed opportunity. Same thing with electronics. Could have hit the electronics even with a network virus, and then with that beefed up carbon price he's got going down.
Hacker Ray's out. That's what I was hoping for at the PB Head. What's he gonna do with it? Just start hacking carbon. He's sitting on.
He's gonna hack carbon.
He's gonna hack carbon. He must have bought up a whole bunch of it.
Which is a bit awkward if his electronics factory's down, but he has at least scrapped out of his chem labs, so he'll probably still be in an okay spot.
Cubit, meanwhile, is building a second off-world.
Yeah, that's the concern, is Cubit's on 2 off-worlds now, and they're both goon squatted.
Yep.
What are you going to do about it, you know? It's just, alright. Geotherm auction over to PB. Might open up some of his tiles for other things to do. Let's see. Wow, PB actually headed into iron mines himself instead of just sitting back making steel.
We're not surprised, just disappointed.
These guys, just bouncing things around everywhere. Alright, that means PB's sitting on a network virus right now.
What's he gonna hit?
I don't know if there is anything to hit, realistically.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot going on. Cubit's managed to push into a hacker array as well. Cubit still just has a very distinct, definite lead this game, and I don't know what PB Head can do completely to pull it back around his direction.
PB Head's sitting on $130,000 of cash. He's not buying up any of Cubit's stock. Not sure why that is. I mean, it seems like that's the best place to put your money right now. He must be saving up for another off-world. He can build it if he wants to.
The other thing he can be doing is saving up and make sure he has all that money to commit into a shortage to make it as effective as it possibly can be.
He's going for a steel short, not the carbon.
Yeah, he chose the steel instead of the carbon. He actually sold out of the carbon.
Alright, Cubit has deleted all his steel mills. I mean, he's got his 2 off-worlds up, so it makes sense he would never do steel again.
Yeah. Well, and he doesn't have any now, so it could work out okay. I mean, steel is easy enough for PB to have access to. He can make a fair amount of it. But there is this basic concern that he's got a dead tile sitting around. Steel is the resource that he uses to get down another off-world.
Yeah.
And so making it so much more expensive, he's almost locking himself out of that avenue of play. And Cubit, I think, still ends up with a massive lead out of all of this. We'll see what happens. PB Head has about 200,000. He cannot get that majority buyout done. He will be making quite a bit off this shortage, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to have made it really worthwhile. But we'll see what happens. Alright, Cubit's got his steel mills down. PB's going to go ahead and sell out. Looks like he also paid down... Yeah, he's paying down debt with that. Quite a lot of it, actually. So that's a lot of money just sunk into debt payments that Cubit hasn't needed to do because he's had so many geotherms up all game. And a mutiny actually landing on Cubit's hacker array. Alright. What's PB going to do with that?
It says food shortage right now.
And a carbon shortage. Both of those coming in at the moment. Not bad ideas, but still, that off-world. Yeah. I know off-worlds aren't great this game. I know they're not great this game, but it's like glass is at $20. Steel's only at $60.
feel like he should have committed to the second Offworld.
Yeah.
The trading service.
I agree. I think that was the right call here. Instead of just trying to push through exclusively on the hacker array.
Or more importantly, like buy some of Cubit's stock. I mean, now, like
it's such a ridiculous uphill battle at this point. I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything long term. I mean, yeah, he's sitting on a mountain of cash, but at this rate, he's going to need something like $800,000 to $900,000 to kill off Cubit, and he's not even halfway to that yet. Whereas Cubit, he only needs $300,000. He can snap that up in just a few launches. Like, no matter what else is going on the map, effectively.
Yeah, that's where he's at right now. He's just going to save up money until he's just watching the money climb until the game ends.
Pretty much. All right. It is also interesting, like, if I were in PB Head's spot, losing control of Offworlds and things like that, I might make an effort to force the fuel situation to try and be very, very awkward. Cubit's in fuel himself, but he's going to be launching so much of it that he doesn't actually have enough fuel production to cover all of that.
Yep.
Makes for a very strange situation.
Well, he's sitting on a lot of... PB is sitting on almost $450,000 of food. And he's not selling it.
Yeah, he's sitting on an awful lot of money. Whoa. That surplus and shortage at the same time. That $6 glass. All right, then. Cubit just going to fight back with more hacker arrays.
PB's lost his Offworld also.
Yeah, that's been mutinied most of the time since it got constructed, unfortunately. Well, PB got one stock purchased.
Yeah.
But he's still only 60% of the way to his goal.
Yeah.
And that's just so far. It's going to come down to the hacker array play in some ways, but I don't think Cubit is going to make enough mistakes to let PB get away with this line of play against 3 Offworld markets.
He virused the glass furnaces, but he doesn't look like he bought a bunch of silicon or anything.
Fuel surplus coming in, that's not the kind of thing PB wants to have happening right now, that's for sure. Hard to keep track of what both these players are doing with their hacker arrays. It looks like PB's are just sitting there dead at the moment. Cubit's also just sitting around. He doesn't have anything he needs to do with them, perhaps. Cubit's already at 76%, PB's only managed to push to 65%. And so far, it looks like we're going to be heading into game number 3 with Cubit with a nice 2-0 lead after this one.
Be interesting to see what would have happened if PB had bought in 2 or 3 shares during that middle phase when he had that opportunity. I mean, obviously he would have made a lot less money off of that food shortage, but
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's just how do you buy out 9 of your opponent's shares? I mean, that's when he's got 2 Offworld markets.
Exactly. It's just it's so expensive. Like, it's going to cost PB Head at this point. Yeah, $860,000 to finish this one up. Cubit, it's only $430,000 even after all those debt payments. He's already most of the way there. Oh man, it's just such a huge mountain for PB to climb and get over, and
Offworld shipment launch.
I don't see any way for him to do it from here.
Yeah. 4 hacker arrays down.
These guys are crazy. They're trying. They're both trying to make things work. I mean, Cubit's only really got an iron shortage running right now. Just a very half-hearted attempt, it seems like. PB Head going with electronics and food, manipulating and changing all those around, but Cubit's not sitting with a lot of his cash just in resources, so it's very unlikely that a hack is just going to catch him out and actually manage to burn some of his money.
Our hackers have compromised the trading servers.
Oh, there Cubit goes on iron. And if PB had a supply of that, well, yeah, that would be a way to punish him, but PB Head scientific and most certainly does not. Didn't really see the iron short coming. Cubit's likely going to use that to go ahead and clean things up in just a moment here. Dynamite for good measure on PB Head. That'll clean this one up. Cubit's got the 100% no problem after this short. And game number 2, going on over to Cubit. He needs one more.
Yep. Well, if I remember correctly, didn't PB win the first 2 games last time around?
That's true, but he did go on to win the series as well.
Yeah, and then I think I'll have to check. I've seem to remember Cubit then came back to take 2 from him.
Yes, that is how it went.
We did go to game 5.
We did go to game 5 that time. Yeah, so many. I mean, That's what it comes down to. PB Head made like 800,000 on world with a few off world launches, but Qubit, he made 800,000 off world, you know?
Yeah.
And then they made not too dissimilar amounts of money from what I can tell over the course of that game, but you could see debt hurt PB Head and timing of those stock buys hurt PB Head.
Yeah, getting those early stock buys really was great for Qubit.
Yeah, that will definitely make a difference.
I do like that PB identified that the off-worlds were not quite as profitable in this game, but yeah, you know, like either he needed to build a second one or figure out a way to knock down one of Qubit's, which I never really saw him do. Whereas on the other hand, I did see the Qubit mutant need PBs.
Yeah.
So you do not come back from being down 3-0 off-worlds.
Yeah, it was 3-0 off-worlds, a lot more than it was anything else that game, is what it felt like. So, not really what you're looking for.
And theoretically, it should be easier to take down someone who's got 2 off-worlds, right? Because they got 2 goon squads on them. So, like, that's the advantage you have if you're down 2-1.
Exactly.
Didn't seem to get aggressive about it.
Yeah, maybe just not enough black market that game from PB Head. Maybe just the wrong black market.
Too afraid to get that nuke, and maybe this is the crucial mistake, was putting that off-world on that iron, because that gave
Qubit an easy opening.
Yeah. I think that might have been the crucial play of the game.
Yeah, 14 black market purchases to each of them, but 4 goon squads apiece, 2 claims apiece, 1 nuke apiece. That's really interesting to go through. But Qubit then cleaning up with those dynamites and mutinies, whereas PB Heads was focused a lot more on those early EMPs that kind of gave him a lead, but not enough that he could afford to not goon squad his own off-world.